Well, this week marks 1 year since the Supreme Court overturned that landmark Roe v. Wade ruling, sending the fight over abortion rights back to individual states. New CBS News polling finds a majority of Americans, 57%, say overturning the ruling has been mostly bad for the country. CBS News Executive Director of Elections and Surveys, Anthony Salvanto, is here to discuss these numbers. It's a really interesting snapshot. Just how are people assessing the decision 1 year later?
Yeah, morning, Anne-Marie. You start that, and what you're asking people to assess is what have they seen over the last year, right? Initially, there was majority opposition to the overturn, but okay, so what's happened in the last year, when you break down the people who say it's been bad and it's been good, these are among the people who say that it has been bad. And what I want folks to notice is the top answer is that they feel the health and lives of women are more at risk. And that is up there along with the idea of a constitutional right being taken away. This is something that's come up repeatedly in the survey, that it's about rights in their eyes, but it's also about health and well-being. And then this, I'll point out, they see states making abortion access, in particular, of course, harder. And if you look at the folks who think that it's been a good thing for the country, and let's do this by comparison, their top answer is they feel the unborn are being protected, that they feel conservative values have been recognized, but also that they say states are making abortion access harder. So it's the same thing they're perceiving, but of course a different value judgment on it overall.
So you had mentioned, like, right after the decision, sorry if I'm going to throw in something at you that you may not have looked at, but right after the decision, the majority of the people did not think it was a good decision. Do we know if sort of that number has changed over the last year? How many people or...
It really tracks with what you believed initially. It tracks very closely. And one of the things that we look at when people assess over the last year is that half of people think things have become, for abortion access, more restrictive than they had expected. Now, this is a little bit of comparing to what you thought a year ago, right? But this is indicative of how people have perceived the legislatures across a number of states that have passed more restrictions. And you see a lot of that. But what you also see is this breakdown is often partisan, which is to say, to your question, what you anticipated might happen. You're looking at that, and a lot of folks are saying they did, in fact, think that that happened.
And that's a good thing for some people and not a good thing for others. So let's talk about kind of the breakdown when it comes to Republicans versus Democrats. Yeah. I guess I'm expecting it to be pretty obvious.
Well, it is, but let me look at this. When we talked about that answer, a lot of folks mentioned about women's health and access to reproductive care. We have seen in the polling that a lot of folks feel like that's become harder to get. And then also, if for women who feel like, especially for Democratic women, that being pregnant from a healthcare perspective with access to reproductive care is not as easy. And in fact, many Democratic women say they feel it is more dangerous. Right now, Republican women do not feel that way. So that's a partisan break in perception. But again, that theme of not just abortion per se, but also access to reproductive care and maternal care. Also, a lot of them feel like that's become more dangerous.
Sometimes when we do these polls, particularly when there's a division between voters, it's that they perceive what's happening differently. But in this case, it seems like both groups are very clear on what's happening, what the changes are across the country as a result of this decision. They just don't necessarily think it's a bad thing, or they do think it's a bad thing, but they're all clear on the changes that they're seeing.
Yeah, in fact, you can see some of that, and I'll show you this slide. When you break out states that folks have considered to have passed more restrictive measures or be more restrictive, there are women in those states who are more likely to feel that abortion access has become, in their minds, too restrictive, whereas in places that have not passed those new laws, they don't consider that. So to your point about perceiving something that it has happened in state legislatures, yes, But also you see in this poll, as well as polling in general, often where you come into it and the places you get your information and what you pay attention to can also affect your perception.
Really interesting. As usual, Anthony Salvanto, thank you.
Welcome.